Congratulations, handsome. You've successfully advanced to the final round of the All-Nighter Champion. When it's late at night and you're still awake, why not watch an immersive Blizzard camping building video? Here's a blessing for instance. Watching this will surely make you drift off to sleep. I'm guessing your phone battery is around 30% right now. And the left foot is placed directly on top of the right foot. Hurry, leave your latest Mei Yang Yang emoji on the right. Let's quietly enjoy this wonderful episode together. The whole process of decompression. Chicken. The FML Jerd already exuded a chill. The ground was covered with withered yellow leaves. The Sword Saint knew through the prediction. The first snowfall is expected here. He then came to this place with his luggage on his back, preparing to experience a snow camping trip. Just then, a few snowflakes began to fall from the sky. The Sword Saint saw the giant rock before him. It looks like a decent camping bunker. He then bent down and leaned over. Discover the interior space. Just big enough to accommodate a hospital. Immediately, a decision was made to build their own deer forest here. Shelter. First, collect some logs from the surrounding area, serving as a shelter. Then they used stones to press down on the direction of the cave entrance, in order to withstand the cold wind in the forest. The huge opening was sealed with stones. Next, you can continue to create rhombuses. Cut the wood into the same dimensions to facilitate subsequent experiments. The wood in Shaojian served as a shelter. The establishment of the framework. It can be easily hammered into it. Short, round pieces can be placed on the pillars, serving as a crossbeam. The other side of the wood is held down with a block, after the two side beams were erected. Next, we'll move on to arranging the wood. Because there is a lot of timber here. Therefore, as many items as possible can be placed on the roof. Food. This also effectively prevents large snowflakes from collapsing under their weight. His profit. The wall that leaks air from the side also needs to be sealed. After all, the cold wind in the forest should not be underestimated. Some moss is a good sealing material. It can be effective. Fill the gaps between the stones. With snowflakes, raindrops fall like mint. The Sword Saint needs to escape quickly by removing the rainproof. Separate the transparent plastic sheet in the middle. Then the transparent plastic sheet can be completely covered in the freezer on the roof to prevent the cold wind from blowing the rain off. The edges also need to be weighed down with stones. The thoughtful swordsman specially sealed it with hemp rope. At this moment, snowflakes began to fall on top of the raindrops. The air in the forest became humid. In order to allow shelter, the temperature inside the shelter remains unchanged. Sword Saint hand made a wooden front door frame. Custom-made dimensions ensure no excessive gaps. The side cutout area, the remaining tarpaulin, should also be used for covering. Transparent rain cover. Even sitting inside, you can also enjoy the view outside. The gaps between the wooden sticks. He still chose lichen. Historical moss not only has excellent windproofing capabilities, it can also serve as an indoor insulation layer. When the snowflakes started to increase in size, the Sword Saint's sanctuary was finally completed successfully. When the temperature drops again, he decided to start cooking his own dinner. Take out the hot dog and cut the decorative knife directly. A cassette can be faster than cooking by hand. Place a piece of butter in a frying pan. Hot dogs with modified decorative cutters. Put it in and fry it. The hot dogs were quickly fried until golden brown. Cut the cheese into thick slices. I also cut 2 pieces of pickled cucumber as a side dish. The staple food is naturally the delicious and filling rye bread. Mix the sesame paste and tomato sauce together. It can then be spread in the middle of the bread. Put the hot dog, cucumber, and cheese inside. A delicious meal can then be prepared. Boil a pot of hot tea to warm yourself up. I laid a moisture-proof mat inside the shelter. You can then lie down on it to rest. After everything is ready, the Blade Master can finally enjoy a delicious meal inside the sanctuary. When food fills the mouth, all the fatigue instantly vanished. He was very relaxed at that moment. The ground outside is starting to turn white. The Sword Saint went outdoors to experience the grand feast of the mystic heaven. He then returned to the shelter to continue his spiritual practice. Well, look who decided to show up. Let me guess. You're already in bed. Perfect time to watch. A man frees for your entertainment. Grab that phone with its 21% battery and settle in for tonight's bedtime story. Altitude, way too high. Wind, a casual 80 kph. These numbers scream bad idea. But for our man Leo, this is just another Tuesday. After walking for what felt like forever, he finally spotted the place. A perfectly uninteresting riverbank. Out came the shovel. It's go time. He yeeted the fluffy stuff to the side. The snow here wasn't very ambitious. Easy peasy. He carved out some prime real estate. Ready for the tent's big debut. The wind was a total jerk today, but thankfully, it took breaks. During a rare moment of peace, he wrestled the tent into place. But the wind wasn't finished playing, and promptly started stealing his stuff. That was just a little prank. The next gust was far less polite, and was about to cause major drama. Our hero, Leo, has been cold before. Many, many times. So, he's totally chill about nailing this glorified kite to the ground. The lake, a giant ice rink. The wind, oh, he's here. And he's absolutely plastered. After an hour-long cage match with the tarp, the Fabric Palace is finally ready, just in time for the sun to clock out. To survive the night of relentless wind punch, this setup needs to be 100% Leo. Hey, look at all this room for activities. The outside is basically a giant baked potato wrapper, and the inside is nice and cozy. This tentception should prevent any human popsicle situations. Outside, the wind is still throwing a tantrum, and the temperature is taking a nosedive. Time to assemble the tiny firebox. This little guy is pretty important. With the interior basically done, he goes back out to build a snow skirt for the tent. A tiny, fluffy fortress against the draft. Leo grabs a knife. Time for some light, warrant-avoiding surgery. The tiny chimney needs a tiny exit. After one last tug on the ropes, it's time for the great stick hunt. Luckily, he's got options. Nature provided a firewood delivery service right next door. Sawing wood inside. Genius or madness. But the wind has other, very rude, plans. It barges in with a mighty asterisk, whoosh, asterisk, as if to say, guess who's here? Wood chopping quest complete. He quickly bolts the door. Take that, wind. A little pre-fire tiding. Priorities. Now to feed the hungry stove. One magic fire starting packet later. Poof, we have fire. The warmth vanquishes the snowflake invaders, and the tent goes from icebox to kinda toasty. And now, Leo can finally feed the beast within. Hiking all day, apparently, makes you hungry. Weird. On the menu, hot bread and beef stuff. Okay, it's a lot overcooked. But when you're this hungry, burnt is a delicacy. Stomachs successfully silenced. It's time to build the hibernation station. Outside, the wind is still throwing a tantrum. A frozen world of nope. But in here, the tent sauna has surprisingly reached a balmy 20 degrees. Oh yeah. He's going to sleep like a very toasty log tonight. The next morning, our MVP, the tiny stove, is still going strong. One peek outside, and you totally get it. Looks like the trees had a rough night. But Leo's twig fort is surprisingly sturdy. It thumbed its nose at the wind and snow. Now he's melting the scenery for a drink. A civilized man needs his tea. Then, off to find more places to freeze. But wait, there's more. Freezing rain. The sky is officially spitting on him. Leo has achieved maximum packing up his misery to go. Too late to turn back now. What a pity. This time, he's going even deeper into nowhere. Luckily, the trees are a surprisingly effective wind shield. The weather is now only slightly terrible. As the sky sheds its dandruff, he carves out his own little frozen kingdom. This time, an upgrade. He's building a human-sized hamster tube. With the wind taking a coffee break, the tent goes up in record time. Of course, the lines must be super taut and buried like treasure in the snow, so you don't wake up in the next county. Opening the front flap, his frozen palace is open for business. Wow, actual legroom in here. A luxurious 3-room suite. Far left, the snoozing quarters. In the middle, the grand foyer. Time to assemble the tiny inferno. And plank it right there. Fun-sized, yet fully functional. With the interior decorating complete, he grabbed a sacrificial stick. After a bit of chopping, it became an offering to the fire gods. The sky started spitting dandruff. Leo, meanwhile, was auditioning for the lumberjack games, building a woodpile big enough for a squirrel rave. Okay, that's enough. And poof, a tiny flame was born. Leo's happiness meter just maxed out. In this weather, fire is basically your best and only friend. But his paranoia wasn't quite satisfied. He went out to blizzard-proof his fabric fort. The plan was simple. From now till sunrise, he was entering full hibernation mode. Not leaving for anything, period. Soon, the glorious smell of dinner arrived. Veggies and sizzling mystery meat, drizzled with some secret goop. Dinner, simple, yet probably not poison. The fire provided the soundtrack. The tent was now a delicious-smelling cloud. Leo melted into his puffy throne, listening to the wind's mixtape. The official sound of winter.